Hi everybody, I'm Liz, the Cross Stitching Diva. Welcome back to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. Thank you so much for watching my third FlossTube video. It has been about a month since my last update. So the diva part of my name is because I'm a professional opera singer, and so the last month has been super hectic. Trying to get applications submitted, trying to learn some roles that I have coming up. So my life has been crazy busy with that. One of the big things is I entered the Lafont competition, which is better known as the Met competition, which is for people who are professional opera singers, and the finals are held at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. I did the competition back in 2019. Didn't make it past the in-person first round, but hopefully things are going well this year. I am at the top of the age cutoff, so this is my last year to compete, so I wanted to throw my hat in the ring one more time. And in order to be ready for that, I needed to do a lot of recordings, and I also needed to get some fresh headshots. So I'm gonna show some of those here so you can see the diva part of my name. These were taken by my lovely friend Emily, and I'm so grateful for her. They turned out absolutely stellar. We actually did this during one of our lunch breaks, where we both work for a symphony orchestra and have a lovely museum of art right across the street from our office, where we actually do most of our performances. So on our lunch break, we ran across the street really quick, took these photos, ran back, and then over the weekend she was kind enough to edit them for me, and I had them in plenty of time for my application deadline. So that's a little bit of life update in terms of why I've been kind of missing for the last month. Looking ahead, I may be on like a 2-week schedule for a little bit, but I know October is going to be super crazy for me because I am performing in Tosca. I am in the chorus for that, as well as I've been invited to all of the rehearsals to observe and learn the role of Tosca itself. It's not technically a full cover because the company is not paying me to be the cover for it, but it is a cover where I have learned the role and will be at all of the staging rehearsals and observing, and who knows what might come from that. So with that being said, let's switch over to stitching. So I have been working on 5 projects in the last month. One of them is finished, and actually it is an FFO, so fully finished object, and I'm gonna put a picture in right here because I don't have it with me. This is my best friend's birthday present. This is a Briar Rose Aurora from Sleeping Beauty inspired project. When I finished this project, I also finished 2 other projects. So I'm going to show you my other 2 FFOs. So we've got this here, and I'm gonna be careful with the glare from my ring light. This is a lovely snowflake inspired by Frozen 2, and so I just have it in this lovely silver frame that was on clearance at Michael's. I got this frame for $5, so very happy with this. If you noticed in the last picture, it is the same exact frame as what I gave my best friend, and so I'm like, I know that the frame might not necessarily meet your aesthetic or match all of the rest of your frames, but I got it for $5 instead of 20, so be happy for me. He's just like, absolutely, all good. And so, and then I have one more FFO, and I'm so proud of how this turned out. I'm so happy, but my enchanted mermaid, and she's giant, so I'm trying to fit her all, but there's no way I can. But, and again, I'm trying to avoid the glare, but this is Enchanted Mermaid by Mirabilia. Because of my chair, I cannot show you the top of her. I'm gonna go ahead and insert a photo here of her in all her full glory. But she's absolutely gorgeous. I started stitching her back in, I wanna say August or September of last year. my mom was kind enough to gift me all of the materials needed except, sorry, was kind enough to gift me all of the materials minus the DMC and the frame. I took care of the frame myself, but I finished her back in April. And so she has just been chilling, waiting to be finished, and now she is. And so let's move on to my other stuff. Now, my next one, you've seen a decent amount. I'm gonna stick with the Mirabilia theme. And this is my current Mira. And this is Garden Prelude. Since you last saw her, I did her upper body, the violin, her hair, and all of the ribbons, and started the very first arch. Now, this is what she looks like fully finished. I am 70.72% done. And so she has a garden that surrounds her. So I've got the arches to finish, as well as all of the little garden elements, and then backstitching, and then she'll be done. Originally, I had hoped to finish her by the end of July, because my company was supposed to be moving. Again, like I say, I work for an orchestra, and I'd like to hang it somewhere near my desk. And so the hope was having that done by the time we move. Originally, that was going to be the end of July, early August. But then it got moved to September, and now it's in October sometime. So we'll see. It's all permitting holdups, and it is what it is. But she's on her way, and she's 70% done. I'm hoping by the next time I do an update, she's over 75%. I break my projects down between 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, and 75 to 100, just so that I can see a little bit more progress in these bigger projects. She is 26,689 stitches. I think that's actually, I've actually found a missing stitch, so it would be 26,690. I chart all of my charts myself and then upload them into my tablet, just for my ease of use. I am terrible with paper patterns. I cannot follow them to save my life, but she is on her way. She's doing very well. Hopefully she will be at 75% the next time I see you guys. Now, my next one that I'm gonna show, I've not worked on for a hot second and a half. And I did do some frogging. I had a lot of backstitch on this done, and then decided to frog the backstitch because it was starting to pull out. When I first originally started backstitching this piece, I truly did not know how to backstitch, and so I did not know how to secure things properly, and so those stitches were falling out, and it was just a hot mess and a half. So I pulled out all of the backstitch. I'm gonna work on finishing all of the full crosses first, and then go back in and do all of the backstitching for this. So the last time you saw this, you saw the first row only, and now I've got the start of the second. So thus far I've done this little clock with teeth and eyes, if you look closely enough, and the wreath with the raven on top of it. Below this first line are the very first words to Grim Grinning Ghosts. It's, I believe, 5 lines of characters, and has "When the Crypt Doors Creak and the Tombstones Quake" from the Haunted Mansion ride. And so I am now at 22.81% done with this, which I'm very happy about, but I am hoping to get this done by October. So plenty to do with that, but definitely some progress being made. We'll see how much more I get done this weekend. I've not touched this since last Sunday, and I'm filming on a Saturday. So my next piece that I have, I've got 2 new starts, and I've had these patterns for a good long while, and I finally got them started. The first one is this Villians pattern. And so I've got the Evil Queen from Snow White done. show a picture of the pattern here. I am 6.21% done. So I believe there are 24 little characters on this Villians pattern. That's in the shape of a Mickey head. And so I finished one of the 24. Now my next one goes hand in hand with that, and it is the Heroes version of it. And I've got Mickey with some of the random little white finishes, showing that up there. With this one, I am 5.3% done, and I believe there's actually 29 little characters in this. So, just starting off, but got one character on each of them complete. Now, originally my goal this year was to have both of these finished. I'll be honest, in stitching them the last couple of weeks, I did not find a lot of joy stitching them. I'm stitching both of them on this navy Ada. I'm realizing that I really don't love Ada anymore. I am much more of a linen stitcher. I like the softness of it. I like the pliableness of it, if that makes sense. I stitch in hand and I do a running stitch, which is basically after securing my thread, if I've got a row of stitches, I will go in one hole and straight down to the next one, almost like a sewing method. And it just goes so much quicker for me. I don't like the out through the back, up through the front, out through the back, up through the front. I can do that, but I find myself going so much slower with that, and my hand-eye coordination doesn't work well with that. Meanwhile, the sewing method really works better for me, and I found that Ada does not allow me to do that as much. So we'll see if I continue with these projects. I don't necessarily want to UFO them, unfinished object them, but it might be something where it's like I pull it out once a month and get a character done, as opposed to trying to push through and just get these out, because the reason why we all stitch is because we enjoy it. And so it's not something that I've super enjoyed, but there is merit in it, and it is a really cute pattern. I've had it for years, and so I'd really love to be able to finish them. So I have a decent amount of haul. If you're somebody who doesn't like watching haul at all, feel free to sign off. Thank you so much for watching. If anybody wants to see what I picked up in the last couple of weeks, feel free to keep watching. So for me, as you might have seen in my last two videos, I really adored the Zodiac Girls line from Corbett. I had 11 of the 12. And for me, I wanted to have all 12 of them. I'm a completionist. I want to have the entire set. I want to stitch the entire set. And so I knew that I wanted to get the final one that I was missing, which was Aquarius. Now, with that being said, I didn't want to just go ahead and buy it, pay for the shipping, and then know that I want something else, or go on a shopping spree because, ooh, I need to get Aquarius yet, but look at all of these other pretty things, because that's the rabbit hole that I fall down. So the deal that I made with myself is I needed to finish digitally charting the other 11 before I could buy Aquarius. Now, what I mean by digitally charting is, because I use a tablet to stitch, I use Pattern Keeper on my Amazon Fire tablet. Because I use my tablet to stitch, and I'm somebody who really doesn't like stitching from a paper pattern, I go ahead and I take whatever I'm stitching, and I have tried to scan it into Pattern Keeper and does not work the way that I want it to. It always gives me issues. So what I do instead is I use I have a Mac, so it's Mac Stitch. If you have a Windows computer, it's WinStitch. But I Mac Stitch the pattern. I digitally chart the pattern into Mac Stitch, and that way it can produce a pattern that is pattern keeper friendly. And I put every stitch in, I create the chart basically from scratch using whatever was originally charted, and then I'm able to put it into Pattern Keeper, and I'm able to see in Pattern Keeper what stitches I need. It'll highlight all of the stitch colors. I absolutely adore it, but the deal I made with myself was you need to finish charting the other 11 before you get the 12th. So last week I finished digitally charting the other 11 patterns in the series. So I gave myself permission to pick up Aquarius. She is NC 338. She's absolutely gorgeous. The pattern is 80 stitches by 145 stitches. And I've actually already digitally charted her this week. I think she came in on Tuesday, and I had her done being charted on Thursday. So very happy with this purchase. I knew it was something that I was going to get, but in the meantime, I also, with making that purchase, decided that I wanted to go ahead and get all of the materials for all of the Zodiac Girls. So that's a lot of stuff. And that is a majority of what this haul is. So one of the biggest like sticking points and hardest parts about this is the fact that almost all of these Zodiac Girls include Magnifica beads. Now, if you are not somebody who does a lot of mirabilias or somebody who does a lot of cross stitch with beads, Magnifica beads are this very specific size of bead. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one. So, they're this little tiny bead, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They happen to have a little bit bigger of a center to them, so that they're not as necessarily thick of beads, and they're made in Japan. But the tricky thing with these is there has been hold up in, I believe, getting the materials to make them or something, where there's this, basically Mill Hill has not made these beads in over a year. They're next to impossible to get. If you look on like your go-to places to find Magnifica beads, or words, if you go to your like the go-to places that usually have like everything you need, like for me it's 1 2 3 stitch. Not a single Magnifica bead individually for sale. Not a single one. Now, the workaround to that is you can get beads in the embellishment packs still somehow, but those were all, I believe, made prior to the issue with all of that, or at the very least there's this like stockpile of beads. I don't fully know, but one of the things that I did in trying to find all of these beads was I found that I have a local needle workshop that is actually closer to me than the local needle workshop that I've been going to for the last couple of years. And so there is a local needle workshop about 35 miles from me, north, and normally I go like 2.5 hours south. And so I had never heard of this shop. I decided to go ahead and pay them a visit because on their website they had a decent amount of Magnifica beads still available. And so I'm like, we'll see what this is all about. Let's see if they actually have what I need. And they had a decent amount of what I actually needed. I think I needed like 10 packs of Magnifica beads in varying colors, and I think they had 6 of them. So more than half, which is great if you're looking at the math. So while I was there though, they were having a pattern sale where I could get certain patterns as long as I spent $25. overall, I could get either 20 or 25% off the pattern depending on the pattern designer. So the first one that I picked up was a Nora Corbett, because of course they didn't have necessarily the hugest Nora Corbett collection. They had a lot of the Victorian houses and the 12 Days of Christmas, which I probably will stitch at some point, but I'm more of a fancy lady stitcher because I am a fancy lady as opposed to a house stitcher. So maybe I will get into that someday, and eventually I'll probably do the 12 Days of Christmas, but I wanted to finish the 12 Zodiac Girls first. So this is the Great Cabbage Leaved Rose and C301. This is a line that are all roses, different types of roses, and a fancy lady inspired by the rose. This is 115 by 154 stitches. She's just absolutely gorgeous. This was a line that I knew I would eventually want to pick up, and so for $10.84, I want to say, pretty good deal. Now my other purchase is not in the vein of anything that I tend to stitch. I tend to stitch Disney, I tend to stitch fancy ladies. But this little guy, I just thought was the cutest thing. It is from a company called Le Petit, I'm gonna say this correctly, Le Petit Croix de Lucie. It's a French company, and this is Christmas Mouse. Isn't this the most adorable little guy? It's 112 by 110 stitches. A lot of back stitching, but just the cutest little thing. And what I'll say is, looking at the chart itself, I'm not going to show the chart, but the way that they're showing the back stitches is so well done, because you can clearly see all of the cross-stitched sections underneath really well, but they use a lot of bright colors that you can easily see where exactly this back stitch starts, where it goes to, and the design of this is so well done, especially in terms of being user-friendly, looking at all of the back stitching. So kudos. Absolutely beautiful pattern. It is available online. I found that there is a PDF version from the maker's, the designer's website, but what I will say is, warning, the website is completely in French. I was able to navigate it pretty easily with the combination of my own knowledge of French as well as the Google Translate feature, but giving you a fair warning that the website is in French. Some of the things translate really well, some of them don't, but absolutely beautiful pattern. Enjoyed it so much. Also, for my Disney stitchers, she has a lot of really, Lucy, I'm assuming, is she, so apologies if wrong pronouns, but she has some really, really cute little Disney princess inspired, including a set of Disney princess Zodiac inspired pieces. So I need to finish what I'm working on, get through my stuff and what I have in stash before going off on another shopping spree, but some really, really cute stuff. Now, the rest of what I have is just materials. So I picked up, like I said, everything that I need for the Zodiac Girls. I have everything except for the croix neck. And so 3 of them call for Light Effects DMC. So got 3 Light Effects DMC. I don't know how much I'm gonna hate my life with these. We shall see shortly. Then I've got all of the Karen water lilies that are called for, and I love these so much, and they're just such gorgeous colors. But all of these just beautiful water lilies. And then I got all of the linen for them. So I just went with the called for linen. I had purchased one piece previously because I had almost completely kitted up Sagittarius already, because I am a Sagittarius. part of me would be interested to see what they look like, what they all look like on a really beautiful like navy. But I just went with the called for, which is a 32 count country French cafe mocha from Witchelt, which is just kind of like an oatmeal-y mocha. Really basic, but we'll let those patterns really show through. And then I've got beads. These are all of the beads that I got. They're all Mill Hills. It's a good mix of Magnifica and glass and size 8. But these are all of the beads called for the Zodiac Girls, except for these two. So I had to, because finding Magnifica beads is so difficult, I ended up having to get the embellishment packs for 2 of the sets. Now, one of the reasons why I pre-chart everything is because I'm able to see how many beads are needed for each pattern, so I can estimate if I need just 1 pack of the beads or 2 packs of the beads for all of the patterns. Now, easy one to point out, so I went ahead and I got the Cancer embellishment pack, and I'm pretty sure, yes, both of the Magnifica beads, which are on opposite sides of each other, are also in Libra. And there are enough beads in just this embellishment pack that I should be able to finish all of the beading for both Libra and Cancer from just this 1 bead pack, which is wonderful. Super helpful. And then I also went ahead and got Aries. Aries also includes some crystal treasures, so that was super helpful with that. But then there are, I want to say, there's 2 sets of Magnifica beads in here. Now, one of them is this 10032, which is also in the Cancer set, but better to have too much than too little. And then 1001 I could not find anywhere, and so I just went ahead and got this pack with everything in it. I got all of my packs, all of the materials that I either got from Cross Stitch World or 123 Stitch, minus the Magnifica beads I was able to pick up at my LNS. And then because I think I was trying to get to free shipping, I went ahead and I also got the embellishment pack from one of the Bewitching Pixies. This is the set for Raven, and specifically I got it because it has Magnifica beads in it. My next project that I am doing in terms of charting is getting through the 12 Bewitching Pixies that I have. I have sets 1 and 2 that I picked up on sale, and so I'm trying to get all of those digitally charted by probably October, because I'd like to start stitching them in the spooky season, just because it's spooky season and I really want to stitch some Bewitching Pixies, which is for October, November, well, probably like late September or throughout October, but we'll see. So that is it. That is my haul. I only showed you 1 piece of fabric. I have, they're all the same pieces of fabric, but came pre-cut to the size that I needed. And so I've got now 12 of those. So that's it in terms of haul. Now in terms of my goals, with Garden Prelude, I'd really like to get to 75% before the next time I film. I don't know when the next time I'm going to film is, so that might be a really lofty goal. That might be a really reachable goal. Who knows, I might be finished with it by the next time I record, just depending on what my personal schedule looks like in the next couple of weeks. I really want to knock out the pillars and the arches in that, and then I can focus on the garden part, which I'm really looking forward to. It'll be my first time using silks. So I have all these beautiful water lilies for my upcoming projects, but I need to finish the one that I'm working on that already has all these beautiful silks in them. So really looking forward to that. for the Haunted Mansion Happy Haunts. I would really love to get that knocked out by the end of October. That way I can have it fully finished, and next year I can have that as something that I can hang up on the wall that is seasonally appropriate. With that, I also am going to Disney World soon, and I'm going to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Haunted Mansion after hours with the little ghost actors out front and experiencing it at night in the dark and all of that fun stuff. So I have a lot of like Haunted Mansion feelings in my heart right now. So it's something that I feel like pulling out a little bit more frequently than I have in the past. Like I said with the heroes and the villains, I'm really not enjoying stitching on the Ada that I have for it, but I'm gonna try and push through. I'm probably going to aim for like trying to get one character a week, or potentially one character or two characters a month. I had it on my list of things that I wanted to knock out by the end of the year, but I'm really just not enjoying stitching it. It's something that I want to complete. I don't want to give up on it, but at the same time, it is not the thing that is making me want to pick up my cross stitch. So we'll put that in the rotation, but put it away for a little bit more. And then now with having all of the materials for the Zodiac Girls, part of me wants to go ahead and start stitching each girl. Part of me wonders if I will just stitch them in their season. So like right now we're in Leo season, so I could easily pull her and start her and hopefully finish her by the end of Leo season and then move on to the next one. Or I could potentially just say, this one looks pretty, I want to stitch this one, and just knock them out as I see fit. But definitely a lot of possibilities. The possibilities are endless. I am working on getting all of the Bewitching Pixies digitized, and so I'd really like to, in September and October, work on those. So we shall see. A lot of opportunity in front of me. So with that being said, go ahead and comment down below what your favorite project that you are working on right now is, and go ahead and comment what your least favorite project that you're working on right now is. We all have those things that we absolutely love, and those other projects where it's like, oh my god, it's so cute, or oh my god, I love it, and then you start stitching it and it's like something's, I don't like it. Something's off. It's just not something that we love as much. So go ahead and comment that down below. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to think. Make sure to like and subscribe the video. If you want to follow me on social media, I am the Cross Stitching Diva on Instagram, and the cross.stitching.diva on TikTok. I don't post a lot on TikTok, so bear with me in terms of remembering the name, but the Cross Stitching Diva on Instagram, I do post a decent amount on that, especially when I finish a project or hit a certain milestone. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.